Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Joy of Painting series with me, PSR. Today we have a special Joy of Painting series because we are here with Atrius Development Group and High Ready. We are painting this excellent CAR-15 rifle today with an Aimpoint M2 optic, very salty one. It's a beautiful rifle, and this rifle could indeed be yours, guys. I would never check out High Ready or Google them to figure out more about that. But first we got to see if this thing runs with our Ambi FRS from Atrius. Let's try it out. I'd say she works. Let's paint this thing. Alright guys, so the very first step in painting your rifle is cleaning it. You want to make sure that paint is going to adhere as well as possible to the rifle, because we got a little bit of grease here on the ejection port. We're just going to use some engine degreaser. You could use alcohol, you could use brake cleaner. Just make sure you don't get that stuff on your hands. That's why we're going to put some gloves on. Just going to wipe down the rifle. Don't be afraid to get some of that degreaser all on it here. Get in there nice and good. You can also get any dirt and grime off there too. The cleaner it is, the better the paint is gonna stick. All right, we're gonna sit this in the sun and let it dry a little bit, and then we'll get to painting. All right, so now that we've got our rifle degreased, the next step is to cover the parts we don't want to paint. So usually I always cover the optic, which is kind of important. You gotta look through that, especially if it's a cool Aimpoint like this. The other thing we usually cover is the muzzle device, but however, this is just like a blast chamber device, so you're not really gonna be worrying about putting a suppressor on this like a QD mount or anything, so we're not gonna worry about covering that up. Sometimes people cover the trigger, but I really don't think you need to in this case. We're gonna stick the mag inside our rifle, make sure we don't get anything inside the mag well, which is important. Then we should be good to go. So let's put this painter's tape on the optic. We're gonna just tear out a square here. Cover this beautiful Aimpoint. You just wanna make sure there's not gonna be any paint getting in there. Very important. So I like to press down as hard as I can on that glass. Get a good seal. And we should be good there, just like that. Same thing for this side. Press that down in there. Really get that seal nice and tight there. And we should be good to go. So the painting method we're going to use today is a combination of using a little bit of packaging. This is really cool because it's kind of similar to like a laundry bag, which I usually use, but this should give a nice pattern on our rifle. We got 5 different paints here today, actually 6. We've got standard black, we got Rust-Oleum earth flat brown, we got Rust-Oleum flat deep forest green, which is going to be the base for our rifle, and we've got flat army green, as well as Krylon river rock and Krylon satin khaki for our tans. Now I wanted to do a little bit of a different method today from my usual painting methods. We're going to do a flat green, and then we're going to put some black on it with this, and then we're gonna go to town using some sponges. The sponge method is really fun because you get this kind of just beautiful splotches, and you can kind of really customize how you want your camo pattern to look. So let's get to doing this. All right, before we even throw this on there, we gotta shake this shit. All right, so it's important not to lay too much material down on your rifle. So we're just gonna, and we got our friend here to guide us along the way. All right. So I'm gonna start up top and move down, just even strokes. It already looks great. Wow, so much better. Let's start doing vertical strokes too here. Get the mag, the optic. Get a little on the top of the angle of the mag here, on the bottom. After you do a first coat, we're gonna wait a little bit, just let it dry, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and then we'll go for another coat. All right, time for our next coat. Now it's nice and dry, just put a little bit more on here. think 2 coats is probably fine. You could do 3 if you want, but we're gonna put a lot more paint on this, so I think it'll be fine with 2 base coats. After we're done, we're gonna flip it over and do it again on the other side, but that's not until we finish our pattern on the right side of the gun. Next up, we're gonna use our Rust-Oleum flat black primer. We're gonna use that with this guy, and of course, first we gotta shake it. I think it's time to lay down our black now. I'm gonna start from the top and move down at the bottom here, this right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just do angled stripes on this thing. So we're just gonna do 1 swipe like this. And try to get this material as close as possible to the rifle here. And now I'm gonna move this down. You can see we got our little pattern there. I think it looks great. I'll do a little bit of individual parts on the aim point. Go down to the mag here, get it nice and flat. Over here, the grip here, the buffer tube, and the brace. Nice. So we just wanted to give it a little bit of black accents. Next in, we're gonna go with color, full color, get our nice camouflage kind of patterns, deeply getting into the details with our sponge. All right, next up, we're gonna use our flat earth brown from Rust-Oleum, and we're gonna use a artist sponge. You could use whatever sponge you want, or really anything, honestly, as long as it'll just absorb that paint a little bit. And we're just gonna dab it. And this is my favorite part, especially when we have an easel. So what we're gonna do here is just we're gonna spray a bunch of paint into one of these pockets here. Just like that. Look at that, that's a beautiful chocolate brown, isn't it? All right, I'm gonna take my sponge, just dab it up a little bit, get it nice and soaked in there. Then we're just gonna give it some light dabs here. I'll get the canvas too, just to make it extra fun. And just dab to your heart's content. If you want to do a little bit of like brush stroke, you can do that too, which kind of looks cool. Great thing about painting a rifle is it's your own paint job. You can do whatever the f you want. All right, now that we got a little bit of kind of brown splatter in here, I think we're going to transition to a different sponge. I think we're going to go with a little bit of a lighter green and kind of move up a little bit to the tans to finish it out. All right, next up, we're going to go with the flat army green from Rust-Oleum. Same thing. Spray it in there. We're gonna take our regular sponge this time. Get a nice flat absorption of our paint there. And we're gonna go to town. Ooh, I like that green a lot. That looks awesome. Next up, we're going to use our satin khaki from Krylon. Get that thing in there.
No more like rifle. My rifle is camo now. Oh, it's camo now. It's camo.
All right, next up, we're going to go with our matte river rock from Krylon. Let's see how this thing looks. I think that really adds to the camouflage pattern to give it a little bit of brighter tones. And now we'll just go over it with a little bit of black. So with our black, I'm gonna do something a little bit different with the sponge. I'm gonna just kind of give it a little bit of a stripe vibe. So I'm just gonna kind of get the tip of the sponge wet. I'm gonna kind of do this to it. Nice, yeah. Awesome, so we're gonna let this thing dry a little bit, and then we're gonna flip it over, and and I'll show you the finished product.
Can't be seen in the environment anymore. You can't see it anymore. No more like rifle. My rifle is camo now. Oh, it's camo now. It's camo now.
Damn, did you paint that rifle, bro? All right, guys, here's the finished product. I think it looks great. It's always fun experimenting with new camouflage techniques, and I really have loved this new sponge technique. It's still wet, but we don't care, because a good rifle is a worn rifle, and a good rifle is a camo rifle. And if you're too afraid to paint your rifle, you're a giant But you don't even have to paint your rifle. This rifle could be yours. So definitely check out High Ready and Atreus Development Group to learn more about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Joy of Painting with me, PSR. This has been a ton of fun, and if you haven't painted your rifle, go out and paint it, because it's so much fun. Guys, we will see you on the next episode. Big thank you to Atreus Development Group and High Ready. We'll see you on the next one. Bye. One last thing before we close out the video. I'm gonna sign this guy for whoever goes home with this thing. All right. Well, PSR. And if you don't like my signature, you can always close the brace a little bit.